Hello friends, you're with the Lonesome Gamer, and once again I'm playing Fortune and Glory by Flying Frog Productions. And as I said, I already did this twice. I played against the mobsters and against the Nazis during the last game. But now we have an expansion called Treasure Hunters, and I'm gonna try this one now in this video, and my villain organization will be again the mobsters. I've never tried this expansion before, never played it on my own, so I have no idea if it's a good one or not, but let's try it. Usually Flying Frog stuff is good. I'm gonna set this up now. Okay, so the game is set, and as you can see here, this is one of these games where we have tons of cards, and well, what's new with the expansion? I mean, basically we got, of every deck we got new cards. I think the only exception is the Nazi enemies. There we don't have any new cards. Of course we have new danger cards, lots of them. And I will also use the fan-made expansion from Ninja Dork that I've used also in my previous videos. In addition, we have a new deck of cards, the personal missions, and I will explain later more about them. Another new thing that comes with the expansion are the dogs. And now, at the beginning of each game, you can place a dog marker in each harbor city. And if you are during the city adventure phase in such a city with a dog marker, you can flip the marker and have an additional encounter there. Basically, I think that's a good idea. What I don't like is that now the whole board at the start is, well, cluttered with these dog markers. I think that doesn't look really so good. I mean, I kind of preferred the artwork of the cities. And now we have everywhere these markers. Maybe there is another solution for that. Maybe you can say, okay, you draw a random marker if you want to encounter that, and then you place that marker on the city after you've encountered it. The basic idea is that you can only encounter the dogs once, and then you remove the marker. And then when you shuffle the city event deck, you will replenish the markers. But in general, there should be no reason not to do it the other way around. So if you encountered it, you place it there, and then you cannot encounter it a second time. And then if you reshuffle the deck, you simply remove all the markers that are on the board, so that you don't start with all the markers on the board. But this is just whatever, that's not so important. For now, I will do it like the rules say to avoid any confusion. Okay, and we start with 3 characters, and these are actually random characters, but we were lucky, we drew 2 new ones, so I can show you a little bit. We got Nigel Harrington, the big game hunter. And this here is its miniature, and as you can see, sadly his rifle is not in the best condition, so he better doesn't fire that one off, huh? And also the color of the miniature is a little different to the other one. This one is more, I don't know if you can see that on camera, maybe a little bit. The other one is really gray, and that one has a little bit of a pink touch, I would say, which is a little strange. And also that one, the new one, looks a little bigger, which is also a little strange. But it's not bad, so it's just a little weird. Okay, so what are his abilities? He's a marksman, hits in a fight on the rolls of 3, 4, 5 or 6 instead of the normal 4, 5 of 6, which is amazing. He's got pride, so he may not escape from a fight, and he's a hunter, so he gains +2 fight dice against any animal enemy and +2 adventure dice on any animal test. I say, what the devil is going on here? Male, British and military. Combat 3, Agility 2, Cunning 3 and Lore 4. Okay. And we then got Alexander Cartwright, our classical hero. The reclusive novelist. He's resourceful. When drawing an event card, may draw 2 and choose one to keep. I always forget that. And he's got experience, may always exert to add extra adventure dice to a test, even if not in a cliffhanger. Combat 3, Agility 4, Cunning 2 and Lore 4. Male, Drifter and Strange. And finally we got Jenny Butler. Oh yeah, and by the way, we already know that, but this is Alexander's miniature here. And then we got Jenny Butler. She's an actress. So, pretty beautiful lady. Nice miniature. And her abilities are Starlet. Starts the game with 3 glory. Here they are. May buy allies cards for 2 less glory than normal. And competitive. Gains +2 fight dice against any mob or female enemy or villain. And has +2 adventure dice on any mob or femme fatale test. And that is Combat 2, Agility 3, Cunning 3 and Lore 3. Wounds 5. Female American social. Nigel starts in Bombay, right here. Alexander Cartwright starts in Rio, here. And Jenny Butler starts in Los Angeles, over there. And now, at the beginning of the game, they were each allowed to draw 2 so-called personal missions. And this is now something that is new with the expansion. And you can draw 2 missions and then choose one. And Nigel Harrington ended up with this one here. It says Blade Collector. So his mission is recover a weapon artifact. And if he does so, his reward will be Combat +2. Alexander Cartwright, he has that research myth mission. Recover a myth artifact. Reward from now on, gain +2 adventure dice on all tests while at a myth adventure. Finally we got Jenny Butler. Protégé. Mission. Get a sidekick ally. Reward, gain glory +2 at the start of each turn. And then we got the Crown of the Cursed Eye. which is up here in Scandinavia. We got the gloves of Loki. They are here in the steppes. We have the sword of Hades, which is here at the Ivory Coast. And finally the cup of the sacred stone, which is over here in Greece. And the interesting point now is, you remember that Nigel, he needs to recover a weapon, and Alexander, he needs a myth artifact. And this sword of Hades is now a weapon and a myth artifact. So it would be a great start if we could manage to get that, because then we get a pretty good bonus right at the beginning. And actually Alexander is not far from that. He just has to cross the South Atlantic and then he can get there. And also Nigel Harrison is, well, kind of within reach. It's not too far for him too. Just 1, 2, 3, 4 steps away, so he can do that. And it would be just great. Problem is that this is the highest value item right now. So Vanessa Love, one of our two villains, she will show up there at the end of the turn, and this will be a real race for this item then. And talking about villains, we have now here Vanessa Love, Search 4, Combat 4, Sabotage. Heroes in her space need 1 extra success on any tests. And then we got a new villain here, Joey Smiles, Search 5, Combat 4. He's crazy. Once per fight round, rerolls all of his misses. This is terrible. Reckless, after rerolling each of his fight dice that still miss, causes a hit to himself. Okay. And again, usually if you play with 3 players, you go up to a... the villains win if they end up here at 15 with the villain track, but I'll go to 12. So if they have 12 fortune, the villains win. This is a interesting solution for me. I think 15 is a little bit too easy. I usually always win if I go up to 15, but 12 is interesting. Okay, so now let's start the game and re-roll for initiative first and start with Nigel Harrington. Well, let's see. He's got a 3, then it's Alexander, a 6, and Jenny. And she's got a 1, so she's allowed to draw an event card. And Alexander is the first player. So that is a blizzard. Play on any hero, economy, or villain, enemy or villain in any ice space. They immediately take d6 hits, or play while in an ice space during your adventure phase to gain 3 glory. Okay, so we keep that, I guess. Okay, and let's roll for movement now. Alexander starts, and well, he needs a 3 to get here to the Ivory Coast. Let's hope for the best. Ah! That's bad. Okay, so we move here into the South Atlantic. And that's all we can do. Damn. And Jenny Butler. And I think basically her destination is here. The steps where we have the glove of Loki. That's the closest item for her. But it's still pretty hard to get there. I think she needs about a 6 or a 5 or something. Let's see. Oh, great start. Fantastic. Okay, so she will move also into the ocean here, west-north to the Pacific crossing, and then she will move over here. Actually, let's place her here. And then she can try to get there in the next move. And finally it's Nigel Harrington, and let's hope he can make it to the Ivory Coast. But he needs a 4, I guess. Oh, come on, this is terrible. What a bad start. Okay, that says expanding influence, an event. Oh, gosh. Play immediately. Place a mobster thug into 2 random cities on the board. Limit once per city. And then we have to shuffle the event deck. Okay, and now we are in the adventure phase. And we can only roll. Nobody can really try to capture a treasure. So first Alexander, he rolls now, and that's a 2, so nothing happens. And then it's Jenny Butler, and she's got a 4, so she can draw an event card. If I could just reach, I think that's a pretty good card. Play to immediately take any ally or gear card from a discard pile, or choose any unsold common item and roll a d6. Take that item if the roll is equal to or greater than its listed cost. A roll of 6 will always succeed regardless of the item's cost. I think I will do this later. And then it is Nigel again. And that's also a 4, and that gives me another event. And that says malaria. Play on any hero, enemy or villain in a jungle space. They immediately take d6 hits, or play while in a jungle space during your adventure phase to gain 3 glory. Okay. So after all, we had a pretty bad first turn, and let's see what happens during the villain phase. And we draw a villain event first. And that says fire, and that's actually a new card, I guess. Yep. Fire. Any hero in a city space immediately takes d6 hits. Okay, we were lucky here. Nothing happens. Roll a d6 for every immobile card in play. On the roll of 1 or 2, discard it. Well, okay, we were fine. Nothing bad here. And it's pretty cool because now these immobile cards have finally a purpose. Until now I wasn't sure why there are these immobile cards, and now we have at least a card that applies to them. Okay. And well, then we come to the outpost step. Let's see what happens here. Here we go. During the outpost step of the villain phase, roll a d6 for the mob HQ. On the roll of 4, 5 or 6, place a mobster thug figure in a random city on the board. There is already a mobster thug there. Instead, move the villain track 1 step forward. Okay. Yeah, great. Okay, so let's see. In Hong Kong, So this is, yeah, that is now one of the problems. If you're not absolutely sure where that is, you always have to remove that docks thing. But okay, we place that here now. And then we come to the villain adventure phase. And now Vanessa Love, she moves here to the Ivory Coast. And then Joey Smiles is ready to go in the next turn. Damn it. That was a pretty bad start. Okay, second turn. Let's hope this one will be better. Start again with the initiative. Nigel, A1. So he can draw an event card. And that's again malaria. So we know on a jungle space, heroes, enemies, villains lose 1d6 hits, or you can gain 3 glory as a hero. Alexander, A2. Oh man, if we continue rolling like this, and then it's Jenny. That's a 4. So she starts, and she needs now to get to the steps. She needs a 4. So let's see. Oh my goodness. So another event for her, just a scratch. Play when a hero or enemy is about to take a wound. Prevent that wound. Okay. So she can't move at all basically because she would need 2 to get to one of these spaces. And then it's Nigel, and he needs a 3 to get to the Ivory Coast. Awesome. Really great. So he moves here to the Mediterranean. And finally it's Alexander, and he can do it. There is no doubt about that. Yeah, that's just enough. Well, really good. So he managed to do this. Okay, and then we come to the adventure phase, and Jenny rolls a die. Oh gosh, yeah, that's maybe the best thing to do with that die. So let's start with the next one. And that's a 3, so nothing happens here. And then it's Nigel, and he can also roll a die. A 5, so he's allowed to draw an event card. And that's Entourage. Play immediately. Play on any hero, including yourself. That hero may now carry up to 3 more allies than normal and may use up to 2 sidekicks. I guess I will give this to Jenny Butler because it's easier for her to gain allies than for the others because of her Starlet ability. And then we can finally do our first adventure, and this is Alexander Cartwright at the Sword of Hades, and we draw from the bottom here. And this is actually one of the new danger cards. Stow away on a cargo ship. Wait until no one is looking and slip by in the shadows, or disguise yourself as a dock worker to get aboard and hope they don't ask questions. So we should remember that because of her special ability, we need 1 extra success to do this. But he's pretty agile. He can use 4 dice. Yeah, that shouldn't be too hard. He needs 5 successes then. Okay, let's start. Okay, these are 2 successes, and yeah, here we go. 2 more successes, and finally we need 1 more. Yeah, okay, so that was pretty easy. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm not gonna move on. I will wait. I'm going to take my 3 glory, and I will wait until Nigel Harrington joins me, because I have to. I might have to fight Vanessa Love, and I have to sneak past her and all that stuff. So this is a little risky for me. So I think I'm going to wait until the other guy comes, and then we can solve the adventure together. Fine. So let's do the villain phase, and we draw a villain event here. And that says double cross. All allies must immediately make a loyalty test for every ally discarded in this way. Okay, so we were lucky here again. No allies until now in play. And then we come to the outpost step again, and we roll a die. And again we have to place a thug. And this time it's in Shanghai. Damn it. Okay. So I think this is, yeah, that's up here. Fine, and finally it's now Vanessa Love, and she searches with 4 dice, and let's hope she's not successful. So on a 4, 5 or 6 it's a success, and she needs 4 successes to get this, to get the item. But I think because there's a hero in that space, she has 1 less die, but I have to check that. Okay, so she's only allowed to roll 3 dice. Okay, that's okay for me. That's one success, but also a wound. So that's not too bad. And then we have to place Joey Smiles on the board. And now let's see, we have now 4 artifacts, which gives the same number of fortune. So we will move to the one which requires the lowest number of dangers to overcome. So this will be the cup of the sacred stone. So he ends up here in Greece. Okay, so actually that was, well, until now for both sides it's not really going well, we got to be honest here. So let's start again. A initiative roll for Nigel, a 2, Alexander, a 1, well, he gets an event card again. And that is a lost temple. Play immediately. Place a temple onto the board at a random location and draw an adventure card for it. The lost temple of... This extra temple is not replenished when completed. Okay. So this is the lost temple of Zeus. While on this adventure, cancel any event played during your adventure phase on the d6 roll of 3 or higher. Okay, so let's place that one here, just like that, and it comes with 6 fortune. Okay, nice. And then we will place a... This is the Pacific Northwest. Well, who would have expected the temple of Zeus in the Pacific Northwest. No wonder that it is lost. Okay, so let's place that one here. Fine. Okay, so and then it's that was Alexander, and finally it's Jenny Butler's initiative roll, and she also has a 2, so we have to roll again between Nigel and Jenny, and Nigel has a 1. Well, I think I'm just rolling. It seems really I'm rolling only 1s and 2s. This is ridiculous. Okay, so again Jenny can start, and the same problem. I mean, she's now here. She needs 4 to get there, at least a 2 to move. Well, that's a 6. Great. So finally she can start going somewhere. And she might even be able to make it to Scandinavia. Let's see. That's a 2, 3, yeah, 4, 5, 6. So let's see which one is better. She could go here to the crown of the cursed eye, but there's this curse. But that is not so important here. Or she could go to the gloves of Loki. Gear may not be used. I don't know, that doesn't make a big difference. So I guess she moves. Yeah. I'm not sure. Maybe to the gloves. I don't know, actually. It's really hard to say. Yeah, I think she moves. She moves here. Okay. And then it's Nigel Harrington again, and he is now definitely allowed to move to the Ivory Coast. Yes, no problems here. And then it's finally Alexander Cartwright, and he will stay where he is. So, and let's start then with the adventure phase for Jenny Butler. Okay, so this is a car chase. Agility 5. Outmaneuver and outrun the speeding car. So she needs 2 successes, and she has a 3 here. Oh, let's see. Yeah, that's the first success. Very good. And damn it. Yeah, she didn't make it. Is there anything we can do? Nope. Okay. So she's in the cliffhanger, which says then over a cliff. That doesn't sound good. Okay, and then it's it's then the other 2 guys, Nigel Harrington or Alexander Cartwright, and they try together to solve this adventure with the Sword of Hades. And you only have to try to pass to sneak past the villain if you push on. And that's not what they do now. They simply start a new adventure round. So they can simply do this adventure and are not confronted with the villain. But, of course, this special sabotage ability of Vanessa Love does count anyway. And we have here Gambling Den. Okay, you find yourself in a smoky back alley gambling den in a high-stakes game of cards. What could possibly go wrong? Choose a number between 1 and 6 and roll dice equal to your cunning. If any of the dice rolled your number, the danger is past. If not, the test is failed and goes to a cliffhanger. Okay, so this is not so great now because our cunning is 3, and the problem is that I'm not absolutely sure how you can exert during this mission. You probably can simply take also another die, but it's quite risky because you can only win with when you exactly hit the number. Okay, anyway, so I guess I'm gonna take a 6, be optimistic here, and Nigel Herring, he has a cunning of 3, so he's gonna try to do that. Come on. Nope, he didn't. Okay, so he wasn't successful, and that means we have to flip the card, and it says out of luck. And we're gonna see later on what that exactly means. Okay, so yeah, that's it for the heroes. And again, we were doing bad. And now we come to the villain phase, and let's hope this is also not that successful. And that is a blizzard. So until now we were quite lucky with the villain events. Any hero in an ice space immediately takes d6 hits. Unluckily, nobody is in an ice space, so now it was a good decision not to go to Scandinavia but here to the steppes. And then we roll again for the outpost step, and this time no new mob will appear somewhere, which is good because we already have 4. And then let's see, we have now search. Vanessa Love will search, and she can only use 2 dice now because there are 2 heroes there. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, she was successful both times. That's bad. So she has now 3 successes, and if she has 1 more success, she will have that Sword of Hades, which is pretty bad. We really want that thing. And then it's Joey Smiles, and he has 5 dice, which is a lot. 5 search dice. Okay, and he's going for the Cup of the Sacred Stone, so he only needs 3 successes here. And yeah, he has these successes, no problem for him. So they will gain this artifact. And that means that they will gain 2 points here on the villain track, and then this guy is removed. And he's ready again in the next turn. Okay, so let's draw a new artifact. So this is the Temple of Jargono. This is one of the new cards. Stories are told of another world, a humid swamp world called Jargono, filled with savage snake men and ancient alien ruins. Well, if you are a fan of Flying Frog, then you know what that means. We are talking about the new project here, which I really can't wait for. It's this Shadows of Brimstone. And I think there is this other world called Jargono, and there was the Kickstarter now lately at the, I think in November or October. So yeah, just but that's just something for the future, and we'll definitely see a playthrough about that too. Once thought to be nothing more than the whiskey-fueled dreams of 19th century gold prospectors in the Southwest, artifacts like this would suggest there may be some truth to this legend. Yeah, okay, so this is pretty cool. Temple of Jargono. Maybe there is a gate to this other world inside that temple. Let's see where that is. Well, we find it at the Yucatan Island. Okay. And we have there 8 fortune on this temple. Cool. Okay. So until now, we're doing bad. Luckily, the villains are not that good, but it's getting dangerous now. I mean, we really want to get this. We really want to get this Sword of Hades in the next turn. With 2 people there, we can do that. If we don't, we're really in a bad situation. But if we do, well, things might change, because then we could resolve our missions, which would give us a great bonus. Okay, hope to see you then in the next video, and, well, not to forget, Merry Christmas to all of you, and well, if you don't celebrate Christmas, maybe you find the time to play a few games with your family and just relax. Hope to see you in one of my next videos. Until then, bye.